Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dominique. For those of you that are new here, I started sharing my journey as a medical laboratory student about a year ago, and I've now completed my third semester of my program. So if you haven't watched my other semester recaps, please go check them out. This was my last semester of didactic coursework, and I'll be talking all about it in this video. So how this series is structured, I discuss in depth what I've learned in each course, what I've struggled with this semester, and what I look forward to in the future. With that being said, on to what I've learned. So my first course was clinical microbiology. This is the study of organisms that cause disease and are classified as bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites. Since it is a clinical class, it does entail learning the presentation of symptoms and signs from patients that could correlate to an infection, and then understanding the significance of the body sites where the specimen came from so that it can help us understand how to find the suspected pathogen. The course went through each specific microbe and the illness that it causes and the pathogenesis behind it so that we can understand how it causes infection, then epidemiology to understand who's at risk, which there's a lot of factors that come into consideration, like geographic location, lifestyle and diets, occupations, things like that. So in the lab portion, I learned how to take patient specimens, culture them on medias, and then identify the pathogens and also its antibiotic susceptibility, which this helps the doctor determine how to treat the infection with the proper medications. And most of this testing was by traditional biochemical techniques or molecular methods. I also learned about the proper specimen collection and transport techniques, and then identification and reporting of these specimens, and then the safety involved in protecting myself and others around me in the laboratory. After an assignment that I had, it just really made me gain interest in antibiotic resistance and superbugs. So I spent quite a bit of time this semester looking into research journals, learning about the threat of resistance and how it plays a role into healthcare today. So yes, it was pretty scary. The next topic, or next course, was urinalysis and body fluids. So I learned how to physically, chemically, and microscopically analyze urine to aid in the diagnosis and treatment of ailments like kidney diseases, diabetes, urinary tract infections, stone formations, and a bunch of other things. And I also learned how to analyze body fluids such as cerebral spinal fluid, synovial fluid, serous fluid, amniotic fluid, a bunch of other stuff. So in this course, it definitely helped that I had a prior understanding of anatomy and physiology for the renal system and the genital urinary tract, because it kind of just went straight into the pathophysiology of things. I don't want to say that. It was like a brief overview and then boom, straight into pathophys. Anyway, in lab, I learned the methodologies of testing associated with the correlation to disease states and pathology. So it was actually really interesting. So the next course, clinical chemistry. This was a lot of applied biochemistry with the focus in physiology and pathophysiology of the body. So I learned a lot of testing methodologies and how to interpret results to correlate that to a clinical significance for the biochemical analytes. So example, an analyte can be like electrolytes, like sodium, potassium, blood gases, proteins, amino acids, enzymes, lipids, drugs, hormones, carbohydrates, all these kinds of things can be taken from our blood and measured. So that's really interesting. And we can use those certain analytes to evaluate organs like liver, the kidney, the pancreas, gonadal function, adrenal function, thyroid function. All these different organs can be evaluated just based off of a specimen. People have asked me this semester, like on social media, how much math is involved in a medical lab major. Well, at least for chemistry, some analytes can't be directly measured by the analyzer. So there's calculations in place to get that value, if that makes sense. It's not like crazy math. It's more like algebra, maybe a little pre-cal. It's really not that bad. Again, these math formulas, we just use them to aid in manual and automated lab procedures that I kind of learned how to perform this semester. What I struggled with, I wouldn't necessarily say that I struggled this semester. I was interested in most of the material I learned. I would say that my motivation was lacking a few times where I didn't feel motivated to do anything. Like I didn't want to study. It's not that I didn't want to, I literally just didn't feel motivated to study and do assignments and stuff. But I assume that it was an effect of all these COVID changes because I'm still trying to adjust to this new way of college life. This semester was fully online until like March. So when I returned to campus, things went from 0 to 100 real quick. Granted, I'm dealing with these virtual and in-person changes for a year now, but it still takes a toll. And even working, like I was working from home until like March. And then all of a sudden, boom, I'm back in person. And then I got transitioned back online. And now I just found out yesterday that I'm gonna be working from home until basically December. So, I don't know. I just don't like working from home, basically. I don't like being at home. I like being where I need to be working at, if that makes sense. because I don't get any work done at home. I don't know. Anyway, with that all being said, there were times where it felt like the semester was just going to never end. It was just going on and on and on and just dragging out. And then all of a sudden I blinked my eyes and the semester was over with. So one thing I can say to those that are in school or preparing to begin school, just keep in mind that school is temporary, semesters are temporary, they are going to end eventually. Just keep the end in sight. Which is the next topic to discuss. So I have completed didactics. I start clinicals, what's today? I literally start clinicals 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from today. I'm nervous because I don't like not knowing what to expect to the T, like every single detail. I literally will not get any of those details until clinical starts. So I'm trying to spend my mini break, like occupying my time with anything but school related stuff. So I've just been binge watching a lot of Netflix, playing a lot of video games that I couldn't play over the semester. So yeah, maybe like sometime next week I'll probably start doing a little more studying and reviewing for prepping for clinicals and stuff like that. I feel like one of the things I'm nervous about is like, I don't know how to explain it, but all I hear is that the labs are super understaffed right now. So the last thing I want is to be slowing down my future preceptors, for them to have to take that time out of their busy workload to have to come teach me. The last thing I want to do is slow them down, stuff like that. I don't know. This is my anxiety talking, I promise. It's probably not even gonna be that bad. I'm also a person that loves to ask questions, especially when I'm excited to learn something new, because it helps me make connections to other things. And I don't want my curiosity to come off as incompetent. I know they're not gonna expect me to just go there day one and hit the ground running, but I'm sure they're gonna expect me to have some kind of level of understanding. But I also don't wanna be in an environment where I don't feel comfortable asking questions though, because that's the worst. But like I just feel like I honestly don't know what to expect. Anyway, I'm way off track. I wasn't even supposed to be talking about this in this video. That's not the premise of this video. So I'm sure I'll feel a lot better once I have orientation for clinicals soon. And then by then I'll know what's expected of me, so I don't have to keep guessing and making up situations in my head. So last topic, future goals. I feel like my goals for this summer and this fall are to just not stress myself out too much at clinicals, to remain kind to myself, and to not be so hard on myself. I feel like I sometimes can really be my worst enemy. So I'm gonna work on that and probably incorporate some more self-care activities into my weeks. So yes, I start clinicals 2 weeks from recording this video. You know, I'm highly nervous, so if y'all can kindly leave some advice, some motivation and tidbits in the comments below, I would absolutely love to hear it. In the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to keep up with my journey in medical laboratory school.